It's time to eat. But here's the thing. I hate it. I hate it. I don't want to. Spend 5 minutes looking for a bowl. It's 2 o'clock. And this is the first time that I'm eating. Ooh. Right. The worst part is that I need some sustenance to withstand. Cereal is literally all I want. Not even that I want. Like a fucking stomach. Or I care to take the time to do. Give me 30 seconds to make that bowl of cereal. Mars! Mars! Come here. Because I said so. What? Because I said so. Come here. What? What? Oh, that's why you come hang out.
I'm working.
I know, just talk with me for a minute.
Okay. What are you talking about?
I was just talking about eating.
I need to make some coffee. The coffee.
Lean down here with me.
Spot of coffee. They're so orange. Why are we so orange?
I don't know.
Color temp?
Yeah, I didn't change it from when I was in the other room.
Just think it's slowly draining away. Like the neighbor's home.
How is your day going?
It's good. I sprayed all the plants with neem oil.
The ones outside?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To try to keep down the bugs. Especially some of the hostas in the back. I need to put more neem oil in this thing and then go back out and spritz the hostas down a little bit more.
Are you putting fertilizer down everywhere? I saw you this morning on the camera.
I put some phosphorus, bone meal, which is really high in phosphorus. I put some bone meal down because when it rains, it has to get watered in. So I just put a little out when it, not every time it rains, but you know, sometimes. So it waters itself in. Apparently, a lot of the bunny compost is nitrogen, like high nitrogen content, and that's really good for leaf growth. But to get blooms, you need phosphorus, and so I supplement the bunny manure with
You're so
bone
smart.
meal.
What the heck?
I just Googled it. I didn't come up with that on my own. But I don't know if that's working because some of our plants really aren't flowering as much as I would like.
How long have you been?
Oh, since the beginning of the year. Yeah, when I set up all the beds, I added bone meal to them. And we had compost from last year. But compost, I guess, just tends to be low in nitrogen and phosphorus and very high in nitrogen. And carbon, obviously.
How can we supplement that? Is it something else we could put in the compost mix?
I think the bone meal is a good choice. I don't think so. The nice thing about bone meal is that it's going to be, that's a byproduct of the meat industry, but if people are eating meat, it's going to either be thrown away or sold as bone meal. So I'd rather buy it, put it in the garden, than have those nutrients go to waste or clog up like a wastewater stream.
That's really the thing we should be thinking about more with our resources. Is not even just stopping 100% with using meat or whatever. Like that video we were watching last night. It's also things like, are we using all of the resources from this that we can? So that
Conscious utilization of byproducts means that there aren't byproducts anymore. Is that sound going to ruin the video?
It's going to be in it.
Sorry. Turn it off.
Yeah, more consciousness into the way it happens.
Yeah.
Or the whole system, but also consciousness about, like, I don't know, I feel like it's putting more energy back into the earth. Like, I feel like when we slaughter animals and we just use their meat, like, first of all, there's already so much negative energy going into that.
Definitely.
So, against that. But if just their meat is used and all this other products go to waste or don't get used, like, that's just so much leftover energy that's just sitting around.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, like, nature is cyclical. It's not designed, but it functions as a cycle.
Yeah, it's like
We should use it as a
seeping
cycle.
as, like, from live
Engage with
animal
this.
to, it's like the energy goes straight from being alive in an animal to, like,
Being discarded.
discarded, and energy like pours into the earth, and then
we get things like algae blooms.
or just climate change. Like,
Yeah.
the energy is shifting, and
It
now
has to go
it's the
somewhere.
weather is coming, and, like, you know, we're putting that all that, like, super alive, you know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
this, the alive energy
We're
that
crushing
animals
the
have,
life.
and it doesn't get the chance to, like, break down
Yeah.
and go throughout the whole different,
Ecosystem.
like, ecosystems of being alive. It just goes straight to the ground, and so now the ground is like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna kill you.
Well, I think that's the problem with, like, viewing parts of nature as products
Mm-hmm.
and as independent from one another, because they don't work that way. There's no such thing as waste. Like, if you're
There
just
shouldn't be.
tossing well, no, there isn't, because if you're just tossing something, it's going somewhere, and it's not just waste that just dissipates into the air. Like, well, some of it does dissipate in the air, that's not good either, but it doesn't just disappear, you know, it goes somewhere. I think that's one of the hard things about being conscious about decluttering too, is that, like, you aren't just, like, you give it to a thrift store and it just disappears.
Yeah.
No,
Doesn't
like,
just
it
go
goes
away.
somewhere, and if nobody wants it, that's not gonna end well, you know? If they're not able to sell it quickly, like, they have too much.
Or it's not in the right place that people are gonna go to that thrift store looking for it.
Right.
Like,
So
it's like when
more
you,
conscious than just donating.
yeah, like when you donate, like, objects or something, like supplies to scraps, people go to scraps for that
For
stuff.
that stuff, yeah.
But they're not necessarily going to a thrift store for that.
Right.
And thrift stores, I feel like, are for furniture and clothes and maybe books.
Yeah.
And then
If
everything
not
else
even
should
books,
be
really, you should probably find somewhere else, because I don't know. There's just, like, half-price books or, like, used bookstores. People go there knowing that the books are going to be organized in a way that they can easily
Yeah, that's a good
find
point, too.
something. If there's not, like, an organization in place that makes it easy for people to access, then they're not going to maximize the usefulness of those items. And then you wasted! It's a Brittany Carlisle song about that. And every time you
I feel like after a certain amount of time,
you've wasted.
books should just be free.
Yeah.
Because there's so many books, and, like, there's probably so many things that people would read, but they're like, I ain't got $1 or $5 to spend on this book.
You too, miss? You have that problem?
Or they're not even thinking about the book as an option. They're not, like, somewhere, they're not just gonna go to a thrift store randomly and be like, oh, here's the book, you know? But they're gonna walk past a free book thing
Right.
in their neighborhood or on their way to the bus or something. And
I
so,
hope so.
can you shut the fuck up?
No, I have to talk. I have things to say and you should listen to me. You wasted.
Like, the floor is always wet in here now.
It is always wet in here. You are correct. Shiny wisdom past your lips and travel to the years of gone. You wasted.
Here we go. Goodbye.